at you underneath this sky. I've never been this high. And you keep smiling at me, and my heart's like, ooh, how'd you like to spin around with me? 'Cause I've got a suspicion that you look perfect next to me. Alright, and you can call me crazy, baby, but I call it destiny. Ooh, you make me wanna throw my hands up, throw my hands up, hands up. Ooh, say you wanna make some plans up. Take my hand, love, dance with me. Take my hand, love, dance with me. Take my hand, love, dance with me.
Good morning everyone, what's going on today? I'm just poking out here to feed a few of these stud ewes that are joining at the moment, just to try and give them a bit more while they're a boost in nutrition while they're joining always helps. And the grass at the moment sort of half hayed, well it has hayed off, so there's not a lot of value in it at the moment. Just come out here to give them a little bit of barley because that's what's left in this feed trail. I've only just started doing it, but I'll do a barley and a pellet mix, so both protein and a bit of energy too. But first thing to do is give them the nationwide known sheep call, which is come on, come on. Hey, come on girls, you know what that means, don't you? Yeah, so we joined them just after Christmas, and I would have planning on making a video of it, but I was moving into my new house on the same day, and I just sort of had to help Dad in the morning, and then I had to go and do that in the afternoon, and it wouldn't have been a very good video. So no, all we did was sort of run them up the race and sort of visually assess the ewes, and then put them with a ram of our choosing. So, you know, for example, a ewe that was sort of shorter and thicker, we put with a longer, sort of stretchier ram. You know, a ewe that wasn't very good in her shoulders, put with a really well shouldered ram, sort of thing. Just sort of, you want to try and correct the ewe's mistakes if they've got any. So, which is, you know, no major ones, but it's sort of you just sort of pick and choose a bit, and ewes that join well with one ram last year will generally sort of try and go back with that ram again. But these are the ewes that we bought the other day that you would have seen in the last video. They're on this ryegrass here. They look very happy. Come on, ladies. Don't you just love a gate that doesn't swing? They're on every farm, affects every farmer. Here's the newest fella that we kept last year, sticking his head up there now. It's pretty good ram, I quite like him. It's funny, his tag number is 105 of 20, and the best ram in this year's in this year's sale rams that sort of I've looked at and thought, oh, I'll probably keep him. His tag number's 105 of 21. So it'd be pretty funny if we do keep him. Out of 180 or 90 rams, and you know, the two ones that we keep are both the exact same tag number. A few thistles for your Monday morning. These haven't seen the wrath of the camels yet. They will. Just going down to cut some pasture hay. Shouldn't take too long. I don't know how many hectares are down here, but it's just sort of part of a paddock that's got a heap of Polaris pasture in it. So gonna go down and cut that. It's a bit late, but there's still plenty of green leaf down the bottom, so I'm gonna cut it, and it's sort of a fair market for it around here for the a lot of horse people like the pasture hay, so I need to get a bit of it in for winter time. So I'm just going to spread these fins out a bit so that it spreads the pasture out a bit more. That's mainly, I cut the lucerne yesterday. It was pretty good, it was very good actually. No weeds or anything, just pure lucerne. It just started flowering, so I was a touch late, but no, it should be good stuff. But because this stuff's such a big crop and a fair bit taller than the lucerne, got to try and spread it out to help it dry out a bit. The lucerne, because it's a smaller crop, you put it in a narrow windrower, it doesn't need to be spread out to dry as much, and you limit that bleaching effect on the hay too. So, well, at least that's my understanding of it anyway. But my years of haymaking are limited so far. So you can see it is pretty, like the heads are sort of getting pretty dry, but there's plenty of green leaf underneath it. So done a few laps now, just getting out and checking things, making sure we're not, yeah, no, that's all good I think. It's good having some sun again after another couple of weeks. It's about the 10th of January now, or today I think, or the 9th. Since sort of New Year's it's pretty crappy weather, cold and cloudy, and so it's good to see a bit of sun again, like summer's supposed to be. I don't know about anyone else, but I always struggle to listen to stuff on the radio or have something playing when I'm using something with a PTO. I don't know, I just feel like if something goes wrong with a PTO, it generally goes wrong pretty bad, and you want to hear it straight away, especially with a mower and baler. Probably spraying, I still listen to stuff, but yeah, like hay gear, it's just so specialised gear, it's pretty easy to wreck something. So if you do hit something, or you know, something does happen, you want to know about it straight away. Any of you guys do that? Well, sometimes I do, but if I do listen to something, I always have the back window open a little bit so you can directly hear stuff still. The new cabs these days on these tractors are pretty good, and you can't hear much when you got all the windows and things closed. And then add music or something on top of that, and you can't really hear anything outside at all. Anyway, that's just what I do. There's the bit we've been looking for. There's that bit done there. Just getting out and checking uni joints and gearboxes and stuff. Making sure they're not too hot or warm. There's a fair bit in this little patch here. Because it hasn't been cut before, I suppose there's probably a fair bit more bulk. But no, it's done well. The conditioner's done a good job as usual. So it's meant to be pretty warm this week, obviously. Otherwise I wouldn't be cutting it, but just have to play it by day and see what it's like. If you come out sort of 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon when the days that it's hottest, you get a pretty good indication of what it's doing, sort of whether it's cured and how dry it is, sort of things. Obviously it's going to be a few days before that, but we'll leave it lie for a few days, and then we'll come through with the rake and sort of try and turn it over a little bit, put it into a little windrow and turn it over, and let the other underside sort of dry out a bit. But it's pretty good because the ground's sort of dried out pretty well, so it's not like it's sitting on wet ground, which is good. Let's go find something else to do, I suppose. Just going to take these second cross lambs away. They've been weaned sort of a couple of days ago now, and we just had them around the shed. Just keep them quiet and keep an eye on them for a day or two while they forget about their mums. But we're just taking them up the back to their paddock now. Put them with some of the shorn ones. We're sort of running out of paddocks at the moment. Sort of banking on being able to sow some wheat at the end of January. So, because we didn't get any summer crop in just because it was sort of too wet early on, and it was a bit late by the time it dried up. So yeah, we can sow it sort of long season wheat at the end of January, which is really good. Maggie, just let him go slowly. Just let them poke along. I'm just going up to open the gate ahead of Dad. He's coming behind me, pushing him up this lane here. We're sort of going out the back. It's up on top of a hill, as you can probably see. So I had a comment a few videos ago, I can't remember who it was, but they asked if I could give you another look at the paddock that we put that gibberellic acid on. So this is it. This is the one up the back here, and it's done really well for us. Obviously, I had ewes on it out of winter, and then I had a bit of a spell for probably 3 or 4 weeks, or might be a little bit longer in springtime then, and then it's had lambs on it for a fair while now, and you can see how well it's done. I mean, the lambs are obviously eating all the short stuff on the ground here, but you can see all the clovers still that came, and it was really good. I mean, I should have showed you probably a month or so ago when it was still nice and green and lush, but going forward, I think if it's another wet sort of, you know, well, not wet, but if you got plenty of moisture in the winter time, I think it's sort of, there's definitely a benefit to doing it by the look of it, because it's not a massive cost at all. No, if you can get that feed, even if it didn't exactly grow a hell of a lot of grass during the colder months, it gives it that boost coming out of winter. Like as soon as you get it that little bit of warm weather, it's just ready to go sort of thing. I mean, any advantage to green grass earlier in the springtime is, you know, it's not a bad thing. So pretty happy with it. This is the Phalaris there, and then that other stuff, the browner stuff's the cocksfoot. So this is where the lambs are coming onto. This is probably the tallest bit of it here. It's a bit greener down in the low-lying areas there, as you might be able to see on camera. This is what I'm talking about when, you know, trying to fatten lambs on tall feed. It just doesn't work because they don't eat the tall stuff. They like the short stuff down here, which keep getting rain, it'll still stay green. So a few lambs coming over the hill now. Good girl, Max. Good girl. She's keen. She wants to go around them. Yes, that's the gate. Go on. There we go. Just make sure they go towards the dam and make sure they know where the water is down there, which is not hard to find in that paddock. But make sure they head that way. It's funny, like these lambs will stick. These woolly lambs will stick with the woolly lambs, and the shorn lambs will stick to themselves. Like they've still got their sort of friend groups, which is pretty funny to think about. But rightio, next on the list, this is sort of just a little holding paddock, feeds into the yards there. This fence is buggered, and every time we bring ewes and lambs in, the lambs just sort of crawl straight through here. Like it's just buggered. So I'm going to start clipping this off and we'll redo this. Yeah, it's just a short little strand down the bottom there. Shouldn't take too long. No idea what that was used for. Gotta be careful because sometimes it's made up of all little pieces of wire, and sometimes they poke out and they hurt when they get you. There's that cleaned up a bit. There's a bit of a mess here. I don't know, it's like a few bits and pieces of metal and cages and stuff that, well, I really want to clean up one day, but it's just an eyesore, as every farm has. But I'll just move that tree out of there and clean it up a little bit more, and that'll be good. But anyway guys, I think that's going to be enough for another video. Thanks for checking in again if you made it this far, and with that we might catch you in the next one. Alrighty guys, see ya, bye.